Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday training sesh. We are back again. I hope you all had an amazing week. I am so happy to be back here again and sharing some more insight with you. Let me just check to make sure I can see and hear myself over here, and then we'll get rolling. So, if you are joining me live, definitely let me know that you're here. Oh, there I am. Let's see. If you are joining live, definitely let me know that you're here. Give me a heart, give me a thumbs up. If you're watching in replay, definitely let me know that you're watching in replay as well. Hold on, my my phone isn't cooperating. So anyway, hopefully you can hear me. Nope, can't hear me. All right, let's see what's going on here. There we go. There I am. Okay, great. Awesome. Okay, so I may be looking over to my left a little bit so I can hopefully see comments and things like that. But hi, I see people starting to join us today. So for those of you who are new to me, my name is Lori Fisher of Rethink Home Interiors. Rethink is a full-service real estate staging business based in the Philadelphia suburbs, and we are about to celebrate our 10th anniversary in business. And these training sessions are all about paying it forward to our staging community. Hello. Oh, hey, from Panama. Oh, my goodness. In South Africa. Awesome. Oh, that color. Oh, thank you, Missouri. I appreciate that. So awesome to see everybody. So, yeah, these training sessions are my way to really pay it forward to our staging community. When I was starting my business, there wasn't a lot about marketing and especially not digital marketing. And so I love to send all of that to you. So if you hear something today that you love or like, or it's a new insight, give me a thumbs up. That way I know that it's content that you like hearing and I can create more of it. So today we're really talking about mastering your use of your time. Like, who knew? Who knew when you started a business how long the to-do list could be, right? Like even before I was busy with clients and client work, I honestly was full of busyness. I don't know what I did during my days, but it felt like a lot. I felt like I sat at my desk for a good portion of my day. And a lot of that had to do with me not really understanding how to manage my calendar, how to manage my activities, and also not really fully understanding how long I should allocate to each task, right? So it's been a journey and a process for me. And about 6 years ago, I hired a productivity coach to really help me dial in the use of my time. And the first thing that she taught me was that we are talking about activities management, not time management. And I go a lot into this topic over if you go to the YouTube page, rethinkhomeInteriors.com/YouTube, there is a video in there called The Time Management Myth Busted. And it talks about the work that I did with Katie there to kind of give you a deeper dive into some activities management. But I'm going to share 2 new strategies with you today that I did not teach in that session. But if you want to get even more strategies, that's a great video to go check out. So yeah, like, so what happened to time freedom, right? Like, that's how I felt for a very long time. Was I started the business to, manage my own schedule, manage my own time, but yet it felt like I was working way more than I ever did in my corporate job. And as I began to understand activities management and some of these time management strategies, that improved dramatically. And I think my team says this a lot. I can actually get a lot accomplished now, but a lot of it is because of these tools and strategies that I've learned. I love the quote by Brooke Castillo about this exact topic. She says, "The art of living deliberately requires that we decide how we want to live our lives, and then we practice living that way." And that practice part is really what we're talking about, because not unlike a lot of other things that we do in our lives where we want to create a new routine and a new habit, managing the way that we approach our activities and our to-do list really does take some time and practice. But I love it. I love this quote because our businesses are really personal growth tools if we are just aware. If we are open to the fact that our businesses can grow us, then we will grow. And this is one of those areas for me and maybe for you that I really needed a lot of growth in. I was very pokey doing a lot of things. I'd get overwhelmed very easily. I'd get very stressed out, and then I would find myself in procrastination. But just like everything else, any long term habit that we want to implement in our lives requires a process. It comes from deciding first, which is what Brooke said, deciding and then becoming aware of the patterns that are not helping us meet that goal. So failing, and then maybe adjusting, changing, and moving forward and dusting ourselves off and not going, well, that didn't work, and disregarding it, right? This is no different. And here's the thing, guys. As I've talked about before, our brains are really wired for comfort, for routine, for predictability. They want us to be cozy, especially our primitive brain. Our primitive brain is really, really wired for that. So the deciding that you want to become more productive and manage your activities is really important, because that begins to involve the prefrontal cortex of our brains. That is our thinking brain. That is our future imagination brain. So without that roadmap, it's really hard to get to where we want to go. So let me say this again, over on the YouTube page, there is all of the trainings are in there. We talk about a few other strategies like systems, micro habits, things like that. All of those videos are in there for you that can also help you with this time management. But today we're going to talk about two strategies. They are the thought download, and they are Julie Stoyan's 150-10 strategy of getting things done. So let me dive into the thought download, what it is, what you do, when you do it, how you do it. So this actually derives from Brooke Castillo's Monday Hour 1 is what she calls it. And in Monday Hour 1, what you do, and for you, this could be Sunday night, it could be Sunday, Saturday during the day, whatever it is, but you literally sit and you write a huge to-do list. Now, as I'm telling you no to-do lists, I'm going to tell you to make a huge list of everything that's in your head that you need to get accomplished. So for me, I typically do this on a Sunday night or a Monday morning, where I just map out everything that needs to be done. For those of you who use a digital calendar, and I highly, highly recommend this, open up a Google Calendar day, whatever, for me, whenever I sit down, I open up my calendar that day, that time. And in the notes section is where I just do a bulleted list of everything that's in my head that I need to get out of my head. Because what happens is we carry some energetic weight with everything that's floating in there. So this download is super helpful for anything on the short term that you need to accomplish, but also on the long term. So, for example, right now I am going through the process of we're rebranding and going through and developing our new website look and things like that. So I have several things and deliverables and activities that I need to do as a part of that process on a weekly basis for the next several weeks. So I will write down all of those steps that need to be accomplished. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to sit down and you're just going to create this huge list of things, and it's going to feel overwhelming. It's going to freak you out. It's going to stress you out. And I promise you it's okay, because we're going to talk about how you actually get yourself from the to-do list to actually implementing and getting these things accomplished. The other thing I will say is this. We talked about a couple of weeks ago your kind of one overarching goal. What is that for the year? Maybe what the theme is for the year. It's very helpful if you have something like this, because then all of your other long-term activities are probably serving that one main goal, right? So I talked in that video about financial adulting and all of the things that I felt like I needed to get really clear on, get really dialed in on in the business in order to get to a place where I felt more like a financial adult in the business. All of that stuff actually got mapped out so that I knew that, in our first month, I needed to work on XYZ. Second month, I needed to work on XYZ. So it's very helpful when you have that decision. Engage that prefrontal cortex, engage the future planning process. Okay. That's just a little aside. Okay, so anyway, once you've got that list in front of you and you have your momentary freak out, take some deep breaths. And then what I want you to do is I want you to look at kind of the common themes, right? Because you might be just doing free form, all of the to-dos that you've gotten in your head, but then you can notice that they're grouped, right? Like maybe it's marketing activities, maybe it's social media activities, maybe it's client work activities, maybe it's something for working on your business, creating systems, creating a free lead magnet, creating an email nurture sequence, right? So you'll start to see that there is kind of an overarching theme. So I want you to take those tasks and I want you to begin to find blocks of time in your calendar where you actually start plugging in where those go. It doesn't have to be just for 1 week's worth of activities. You could go out 2 weeks if you need to as well. So if you want to tackle the first part of it in week 1 and then move to the second week. But the important thing is that it goes in a time block on your calendar. And this is where a lot of people kind of fall short. And my team actually teases me. I started to make them more private so they weren't busying up my calendar. But when I first started this a couple of years ago, my administrative assistant, Catherine, who's here, hi, Kath, was like, oh my God, I can even see when you're working out and you're sleeping and you're doing all of this stuff. Because my coach taught us that we have to block every hour of the day. I'm not suggesting that. I'm suggesting that you start by taking your to-do list and starting to find time blocks to plug it in. Now, this is super helpful also if you have a rhythm and routine to your week, right? So I have marketing Mondays, I have financial Fridays, and then I have client work in the middle of the week, right? So by having those times identified, those days identified, I have a theme. So any activity that kind of fits in those themes goes into the calendar in those time slots. I talk more about that as well in that time management myth busted video over on YouTube. So that's the first thing is the thought download. And if you want to learn more information about this, you can Google Brooke Castillo Monday Hour 1, and she has and thought download. She has a couple of podcasts about that. It's really a very, very effective way of getting some things done. But the next thing that you need to understand is your own energy level and ability to sustain the work that you want to do in that window of time. And that's where Julie Stoyan's 150-10 strategy comes in. So think about your energy in terms of it's a glass of water. So every day your glass of water starts full, but you only have a finite amount of energy. And that glass of water can get emptied depending on what task you're doing, right? Or if you're delegating some things. So if you've got a full glass of water and you are doing a task that is really, really draining for you, you're going to deplete that energy resource a lot faster. So in the time management myth video, I talked to you about the understanding yourself and your unique brilliance. And I have that unique brilliance exercise where I teach you all about how to understand what are the things that deplete your energy the least, what are the things that deplete your energy the most. So go back and review that video before you move into this. And you may actually already know it as well, but that's going to really help you dial in on the things that you need the most energy for and the things that you could probably do in your sleeps, right? So, and what Julie says is those are like your 150-10 tasks. So tasks that fit into the 100 kind of range are the things that require deep thought. They might need most of your energy or a lot of your energy. You want to align those tasks when you have the most energy. So if you're a morning person or you're an afternoon person, you would slot in your 100 activities in that time. I am probably a mid-morning person, truth be known. So my 100 tasks actually don't start first thing in the morning for me. They have to start somewhere around 10 for me. For the next is 50 tasks, or when it's like you can do them, you don't need a ton of energy for them. You could sort of be doing them on autopilot. They're a little bit easier to accomplish. So for me, I actually start my day with a lot of 50 tasks, things that I can just clear off my desk, my plate, but that I can check the box, get my dopamine surge going, and then get my energy level up, and then to start my 100 tasks. And then there's the 10% task, the 10. And those are the tasks that you literally need no energy to do. They could even be household tasks at that point, but literally it could be as simple as checking a box, a very simple box. I'm trying to think of an example for me in my business. What's a 10? A 10% task might be just going in and circling back in on, our projects to see where, like in a design project, where things are ordered, not ordered. Do we have money collected? Like those are 10 tasks. And that's probably when I send Catherine all kinds of emails about all that stuff. So 100 is what you need the most energy for. 50 is what you need moderate energy for. 10 is things you could do kind of energy depleted just before you're ready to nap or whatever. So what you want to do is when you're thinking about the blocks of time, so if for you, creating social media posts is something that requires a lot of your energy because it's not something you naturally do quite easily, you want to consider that a 100 task and put that in a spot where you have 100% of your energy available and ready to go to tackle that task. So it's really about understanding your own energy management overlaid on your calendar. So again, if you go back to the Unique Brilliance exercise, or Michael Hyatt has a book, Free to Focus, he has a similar version to that. It's called like your compass, that similar kind of activity. It will really help you begin to understand that whole energy management piece. So those are the two new strategies I wanted to share with you today. I know this was a little bit shorter of a training, but it's kind of a lot to take in, is that thought download on a weekly basis, just kind of looking at the things you want to do in the short term and in the long term to move your business forward, making sure that you're finding time slots in your calendar and making sure that those time slots are aligned with your energetic resource. Once you do that and you get kind of in the habit of it, you will begin to see things really, really start to hum. And I want to encourage you, just like everything else that you're learning and we're going through here, is that it's a process, right? So it's not unlike trying to be on a diet and, having a cheat day, right? Some people can take a cheat day and be like, okay, I'll make my next best decision tomorrow. Some people take a cheat day and it turns into a cheat month. It turns into a cheat 6 months. You totally abandon it, say that the diet plan doesn't work, and, then don't fulfill your own goal. So commit to yourselves, guys. The world needs you. The world needs to know that you're out there and your gifts are valuable to them. And the only way that you can do that truly is by being really organized about the way you approach your days, your weeks, so that you don't deplete yourself, but you also get your things accomplished that you want to get accomplished to grow your business. There's a lot for us to do, right? Create systems, create social media, client outreach, marketing, presentations, all of that stuff. And it can really, really become overwhelming and lead a lot of us to procrastination. But if you put some of these things into place that I've talked about, especially between today's training and that Time Myth Busted training, you will really begin to see that you can get so much more accomplished on a weekly, regular basis than you ever thought possible. So that's what I have for you today. Next week, we're talking about 3 behind the scenes secrets to staging business success when SB2 enrollment, Staging Business Bootcamp enrollment starts. Yay! For the spring. So looking forward to having you all back here next week. But again, go over to the YouTube channel, rethinkhominteriors.com/YouTube, and really kind of dive into these these systems and time management and habits videos to begin to craft what your weekly, daily schedule can look like optimally for you. Okay. All right, guys. Align. Well, okay. Yeah. Sorry. Sorry. I was reading Catherine's comment there. Awesome. Have a great week, and I will see you next week, everybody. I'm so happy you're here. Talk to you later. Bye. Mwah, mwah, mwah.